The Bear Brook Murders. A true story of a hidden killer. In the quiet woods of Bear Brook State Park, New Hampshire, 2 rusted barrels hid a gruesome secret. The bodies of 4 females, a woman and 3 young girls, murdered and discarded like refuse. Discovered in 1985 and 2000, the victims remained unidentified for decades, their killer a ghost who left no trace. Through groundbreaking genetic genealogy, the case unraveled in 2017, revealing a serial killer who hid in plain sight. But the full truth of the Bear Brook murders remains elusive, a chilling reminder of how long evil can go unnoticed. Who were these victims, and how did one man evade justice across states and years? The Bear Brook murders are a haunting puzzle, blending science, tragedy, and a predator's dark legacy. The story began on November 10, 1985, when a hunter in Bear Brook State Park, near Allenstown, New Hampshire, found a 55-gallon steel drum tipped over in the forest. Inside were 2 bodies, wrapped in plastic, an adult woman, aged 23-33, and a girl, aged 5-11, both beaten to death. Forensic analysis showed they were likely related, possibly mother and daughter, but no IDs matched missing persons reports. The case went cold, with police baffled by the lack of witnesses or evidence in the remote park. 15 years later, in May 2000, a second barrel was found 100 yards away, containing 2 more girls, aged 2, 4, and 1 to 3, also beaten and wrapped in plastic. Dental records and skeletal analysis suggested they died around the same time as the first 2, likely between 1977 and 1981. The barrels, rusted but intact, bore no fingerprints or DNA, and the killer's method, blunt force trauma, left little to trace. The 4 victims, dubbed the Allenstown 4, became a grim mystery, their faces reconstructed but unrecognized. The investigation stalled for years. New Hampshire, a sparsely populated state, had limited resources, and the victims' anonymity made leads scarce. Early theories pointed to a transient killer, possibly a trucker, given the park's proximity to highways. Others speculated a local with a grudge against the woman, perhaps a domestic abuser. The girls' ages suggested a family targeted, but no missing family matched the profile. The case languished until 2011, when DNA confirmed the adult woman was the mother of the oldest and youngest girls, but the middle girl was unrelated, adding a twist. A breakthrough came in 2017 thanks to genetic genealogy, a new technique matching DNA to distant relatives via public databases. Investigators identified the killer as Terry Peder Rasmussen, a drifter with a violent history, known by aliases like Bob Evans. Rasmussen, who died in a California prison in 2010 while serving time for another murder, was linked to the barrels through DNA from a discarded cigarette. He had lived in New Hampshire in the late 1970s, working odd jobs and dating women who later vanished. The unrelated girl was his daughter, born to a woman he likely killed elsewhere. Rasmussen's past was a trail of death. He abandoned his family in Arizona, murdered his girlfriend in California, and was suspected in disappearances in Colorado and Texas. His transient lifestyle, moving across states using fake names, made him a ghost. In New Hampshire, he lived near Bear Brook with a woman and child, both unaccounted for, suggesting more victims. The Allenstown 4's identities remain unknown, though isotopic analysis suggests they came from the Midwest or Northeast. Their DNA has no familial matches, hinting they were isolated or estranged. The case's chilling details fuel its horror. Rasmussen beat his victims with savage force, likely with a hammer or pipe, and hid their bodies in barrels sealed with tape, suggesting premeditation. The unrelated girl's presence implies he killed multiple families, blending victims to confuse investigators. The barrels were dumped in a park rarely patrolled, showing his familiarity with the area. A knife found near one barrel was too degraded for testing, and no other clues, clothing, jewelry, survived the forest's decay. Theories center on Rasmussen as a lone predator, targeting vulnerable women and children he could control. Some speculate he had accomplices, given the logistics of moving barrels, but no evidence supports this. The lack of victim IDs suggests he preyed on society's margins, runaways, drifters, or undocumented families. His death closed the door on a confession, but police suspect he killed at least 6 others, including a girlfriend whose body was found in a California desert. The Bear Brook case revolutionized forensics, proving genetic genealogy's power. It led to other cold case solves, but the Allenstown Four's names remain a void. New Hampshire keeps their case active, with sketches and DNA profiles shared globally. Bear Brook State Park, lush and serene, hides its grim history, with visitors unaware of the barrel's resting place. The victims' families, if they exist, may never know their fate. Today, the Bear Brook murders stand as a tragic, unsolved puzzle, with 4 lives lost and only a killer's name to show for it. The New Hampshire woods whisper of a man who walked among them, leaving death in his wake. Was Rasmussen the sole monster, or do more secrets lie buried? The Allenstown Four wait, nameless but not forgotten, for a truth the forest refuses to yield. If you enjoyed this videos, follow me, like, share and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you.